Well, hello. Can you hear me? Yeah. So, well, my name is Gonzalo Rizzo, as Christopher said. I'm working with Patricio Grassini, and I will present some results of our project that this was already published in PNS journal. And this paper was entitled Climate and Agronomy, Not Genetics, Underpin Recent Maize Gains in Favorable Environments. And why is it important to investigate the contribution of climate, agronomic management, and genetics? Well, first of all, because knowing the contribution of those factors can help to prioritize research and development areas. And then because there have been contrasting reports about the maize yield gains. Some reports, some studies have shown that there was a stagnation on the yield gains and the maize yields, and others have reported very rapid genetics gain rates. So, and finally, because although it's relatively easy to estimate the contribution of climate, it's still difficult to separate the contribution of genetics and agronomic management. So how we did estimate the contribution of those factors? Well, first of all, we estimated the total maize gain, the total yield gain, and we estimated this by using self-reported farmer data that was provided by 3 natural resource districts, 3 regions across Nebraska. And after estimating the total yield gain, we estimated the contribution of climate. And we did estimation of the contribution of climate using crop models. And those crop models are computer programs that were fed with weather data and dominance management. And after that, we estimated the contribution of agronomic management. To that aim, we ran a survey among farmers that were located in the same regions for which we had the natural resource districts, so the self-reported data. And in that survey, we asked the changes in the most important management practices in the last decade and a half. And then we use published relationship to translate those changes in management practices to maize yield gains. And finally, we estimated the contribution of genetics by difference because we already had the contribution of the total and the contribution of climate and agronomic management. So what we found, well, yeah, these are the most important results of our project. Here in the vertical axis, I'm showing the yield gains in kilograms per hectare per year. And then in the horizontal axis, the 3 regions and the average among them, which is named overall. And as you can see here, the favorable climate was the most important driver of the maize yield gain in the last decade and a half. It contributed with almost half of the total yield gain. And then the agronomic management was the second and the most important in the other half of the yield gains. And then there was a marginal contribution of genetics. So, and the management practices that explain this big contribution of the management, agronomic management, were the change in the seeding rate, the change in the rotation, so higher rotation with soybean, the higher application of foliar fungicide and or insecticides, and the higher amount of applied nitrogen fertilizers. So, which would be the take-home message from this presentation today? Well, that nearly half of the total yield gain was due to a favorable climate, and the other half was mostly management practices and some genetics. Then the contribution of genetics that we found were 3 to 4 times lower than the previous reports. And the rate of gain due to genetics was less than a third of the one that the agronomic management. This suggests that the rate of yield gains will come for maize will come from closing the existing yield gaps. So, as I say at the beginning, this research or these results were already published in a PNS paper journal, in the PNS journal. And this publication got the attention of National Geographic. We published an article where some colleagues discussed the implication of our findings to the future of agriculture. And with that, thank you so much for listening.